What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Cervantes podcast. Joining me today to discuss the history of Black fraternities and sororities, what they enjoy most about Black Greek life, and how being a member of their sorority has changed their lives is Hofstra University alumna, MBA Marketing Management student at Pace University, and member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Camiryn Simpson, and guest co-host Charlese Martin. Our listeners should remember Charlese from episode 23, Black Women in Dance, featuring Lauren Wood and Charlese herself. Charlese is a Bachelor of Fine Arts dance major and the vice president of the Kappa Phi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at Hofstra University. How are you doing today, ladies?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, how are you?
In the early 19th century, social Greek organizations known as sororities and fraternities began forming on college campuses across the United States to provide a sense of community and unique opportunities for students. These organizations were often highly exclusive and barred membership to students of certain genders or races, specifically Black students. At the start of the 20th century, a small number of Black students came together from mainly historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, to form their own sororities and fraternities. These organizations are known collectively as the National Pan-Hellenic Council or the Divine Nine. Each of these organizations were established with unique core values but shared a common goal: to educate and uplift the Black community from racial inequalities. These include Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, founded 1906 at Cornell University, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1908 at Howard University, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1911 at Indiana University, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1911 at Howard University, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1913 at Howard University, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1914 at Howard University, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1920 at Howard University, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1922 at Butler University, and last but certainly not least, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1963 at Morgan State University. What initially made you want to decide to join a sorority, and how did you learn about your organization?
So I initially became interested in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated because I was really looking for that group of women that I can connect with not only socially, but on a cultural level as well. I know for me, I grew up in a very white area growing up, and I was often the only Black woman in the room or one of very few people of color in the room. And as I got older, this got really difficult for me. Just because of cultural competence or biases or just racism in general. So being Black at a predominantly white institution got really difficult after a while because the white people started noticing that, I was one of the only few Black people in their circle. And then the people of color, unfortunately, tend to make fun of me because they thought that I acted too white. They would say, oh, you speak too properly. Or if I raise my hand a lot in class, oh, you're trying to act white, you're trying to act different. But in reality, I was just trying to be myself. And so I just really craved the Black woman that related to me and had the same values that I had. And this kind of came up when I talked to my mom about this one day, and she mentioned Black sororities. She was saying, one day, you're going to find your people. There are Black sororities, Black fraternities once you start a college education, and you'll be able to find your people. She mentioned how Alpha Kappa Alpha in particular was really known for being poised and being educated and being accomplished Black woman. And so that really sparked that interest in me. And then once I started high school, in my senior year, I had a teacher who was an AKA, and she really inspired me. Our class was a capstone class. So you had to find a topic that you're very passionate about and then do community service within the real world, within your town that related to that topic. And she would talk about all the service that she's done through Alpha Kappa Alpha. And it was just so inspiring to see these accomplished Black women impact their community, make a difference. And so after that, I would talk to her every single day, after class. I'm like, tell me more about AKA. And she would tell me all the different information about, how to express interest or how you can join possibly one day, or just different people she knows that I can learn from. And the rest is history, I guess, for me.
That's awesome. And for you, Charlese?
So I grew up in a really Black neighborhood, but I was constantly put in predominantly white spaces. I grew up as a dancer. If you know me from the previous episode, then you know that all my dance schools have all been predominantly white institutions, as well as my high school was a predominantly white institution. So in my high school years, I became a debutante for Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in my senior year. That's how I found out about the sorority. And this kind of came about because a lot of the women at church took interest in me. And so they were like, oh, you have to be a debutante your senior year. And it was the best thing for me because being a dancer, like waltzing wasn't hard for me. It was actually really fun. And it was the first time I started doing really big service projects. And it actually reflected one of their targets, which is global impact. And I am Liberian American, first generation. So I was able to start a period kids service for girls in Liberia so that they can stay in school during their menstrual cycle. And that was a program that I started in high school. And it's because of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated that it's still going on to this day. So I've seen their service projects throughout my life, and that was always in the back of my mind that these were women of service. And that's kind of what drew me to them, as well as, again, I was embarrassed for myself my first time going into debutante practice, and I had a culture shock being around a lot of Black people.
Wow.
And I didn't want that to happen again. Like, I didn't want that to be my life story. And especially when I started interacting with the girls in debutante, I finally found like-minded Black girls, like young Black girls my age, and that had like a similar mindset to me, talked the same way that I did, grew up the same way that I did, aspired to higher education. And a lot of those girls are members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated today. So that experience affected a lot of the reason why I chose Alpha Kappa Alpha.
I love that. I love those two very different stories, but there's an underlying message of being with like-minded individuals pursuing a common goal. I love that. And I love that these organizations were formed, like I said in the beginning, were formed out of a necessity because we couldn't enter those certain white spaces that had fraternities and sororities. So we just made our own and made it something beautiful, made it something of significance, and that is long lasting, not just in college, but outside of college and outside of just events like community service and just educating people and uplifting the Black community. So I love that. I love your why. And I think that's really inspiring for people listening who may be interested or who are already AKAs, but are very new, so they can aspire to something great. So have you had the opportunity to experience Black Greek life at an HBCU in terms of going to a party or perhaps working at a community service event?
Me personally, I have not yet had the chance. I do have sorority sisters. I'm from New Jersey, so I have sorority sisters that ended up going to HBCUs from my debutante experience. And I kind of know a little bit of their experience, but I haven't yet experienced it yet for myself.
Okay.
So I haven't had the chance to go to an HBCU yet either because of COVID, unfortunately, but I was able to raise some money for HBCUs and increase their awareness through programs through a grad chapter so far. So I hope that in the future I'm able to do a lot more work with them. And also just like on like the social side, I'd love to go to homecoming, just saying. Yes. And meet some more sorors.
That's awesome. Because I'm sure the experience, I don't want to say better, but it's probably very different than at a PWI that Black Greek life experience. So that's awesome. Hopefully that does happen in the near future. Is there really tension between the D9 organizations, or is that just a myth?
Totally a myth.
It's a myth.
Totally a myth.
I think that people see like competition, or they see a lot of Black excellence in one space and they start trying to compare you to each other. And it's kind of unfortunate in a way because you don't always see that with white organizations, but let it be successful Black organizations and academics and service, and all of a sudden there has to be beef, there has to be tension, but that's really not the case. I think if anything, there's jokes sometimes. It's almost like a sibling rivalry. Like we're all like a big D9 family. And so we make jokes like, oh, who runs the yard? But I think that like, that just holds you accountable to keep doing more service and to engage your community.
Just let that be understood that like, we can say things about each other, but don't let anybody say anything about somebody else.
Period.
Don't let any other like historically white organization or predominantly white organization talk about like Delta Sigma Theta or like Sigma Gamma Rho. No,
speak on it.
It's not happening. Mm-hmm. We can talk about each other. Like it's like it is like a civil like a sibling rivalry. Where it's like, yeah, I can like bully my little sister, but you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that
And I
makes
will
sense.
say that like when I was initiated, I got so much love from all different orgs. I got gifts from different orgs, so
Yeah.
it's really
Wow.
supportive.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It really it seems to be a really big family, all the 9 different organizations. And I think you're right. I think that there is they don't like to see Black people win. I think certain people don't like to see each other win. And it's like, no, we're all Black and we're all fighting for something. And especially you guys, it's on a different level with the D9. And there was something else I'm gonna say. Yeah, why is it that when there's more than one Black woman in a space, there seems to be competition put placed on them? Like they might not have beef with each other, but other people want them to fight and bicker, and that's very disgusting. Like we don't want to see that during Black History Month, any
No,
month out
not
of the
for Black
year,
Any month.
history.
Any month.
any month, and we don't want to see that within a Black organization. So I love that. I love that you said that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just like a little like smidgen of what the larger issue is, and I think that it's just like this has been going on in multiple spaces, like where there's only like there can only be one top girl that's Black. Like there can't be Tyra and Naomi. You know what I mean? Like can't be like a Sierra and a Beyonce. Like it's always clipped. Like
Right,
there
'cause you
always
don't
has
see
to be
that.
that one.
You see that forming in other industries as well, not just D9. You see that in entertainment. You see that maybe in your own workspace at your job. So that's so true. And we shouldn't have that. Like more, all Black women can win. All Black people can win in a space. So I totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
According to the official website, Alpha Kappa Alpha is a sisterhood composed of women who have consciously chosen this affiliation as a means of self-fulfillment through volunteer service. Alpha Kappa Alpha cultivates and encourages high scholastic and ethical standards, promotes unity and friendship among college women, alleviates problems concerning girls and women, maintains a progressive interest in college life, and serves all mankind. What have you learned about yourself since joining the Divine Nine?
I think that I learned that like doing active service in my Hofstra community affects me personally in a positive way. Like it makes me feel better about myself. And I think that growing up, I was really involved in different service projects, and I kind of like fell off until I became a debutante for Alpha Kappa Alpha in my senior year in high school. But just like the impact that service has on you is a driving message that I've gained since joining.
My mom always said that quote that Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And that was a really big thing she instilled in me at a very young age. And so I've always thought, how can I impact the world? How can I make a difference? How can I help others? Because you never know, like one day you may be the person that needs help. So you might as well help others and just see how that impacts you as a person too. Something else that I've noticed with myself that I've learned from joining Alpha Kappa Alpha is just how strong I am, how determined I am, and how ambitious I am, especially when I joined my semester. I had a lot of different things going on. I was on 2 executive boards for school that really implemented social justice initiatives. I was the lead in the school play. I was definitely just trying to graduate and had an internship too. Yes,
Yes.
clapping.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really difficult, but it was really rewarding in the end to be like, wow, like I really learned how to do time management and how to focus on the things that I want. And I learned that, when I want something, nothing's going to get in my way. And I think that that's a great quality that Alpha women, all women, but, Alpha women in particular have, I think that will help us as we get older.
Yes. And you guys were already great. And I think this organization, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure it made you an even better and maybe a different woman as to now with before. So I love that. I love to see that change. And I'm here for the D9. I love it. Yes. There is Wanda Sykes, Star Jones, Loretta Devine, and the list goes on. Are there any notable Alpha Kappa Alpha women you would love to meet one day?
Yes, you mentioned Loretta Devine, and so immediately that's who I think of because I'm an actress and I would love to be on television. I loved her in Grey's Anatomy. I thought she did so good on her projects.
Yes.
There's so many notable Alpha Kappa Alpha women. So in addition to Loretta Devine, I would also say, for starters, Kamala Harris, because, she's the first Black VP in office. And I think that's huge. Like, regardless of political opinions, it doesn't really matter, but the fact that you see a Black woman, you see representation in the White House, that's incredible. So I'd love to meet her.
Yes, the highest court of the land. We love to see
yes.
it. And for you,
and
Charlese?
we're the first. I just wanted to say,
we're the first.
Again.
Yes.
So literally like my graduate advisors, even like my sorority sisters still call me Little Debbie Allen. So I have to meet Debbie Allen, who is also a Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
And iconic character in fame. As somebody who wants to have their own dance practice one day, she has her own studio, she does her own programs, and she also on the side has her own moments for herself as an artist. So that's something that's like very aspirational. I would love to pick her brain all day and every day. So big on Debbie Allen. Big.
That's awesome. Hopefully you do get to meet them one day. That's awesome. Switching gears to some TCP rapid fire questions. My first question for you guys, what makes you laugh the most?
Ooh, that is
TikToks. I say TikToks are hilarious. I can scroll all night and then I don't even know what time it is. I'm like, oh, I'm on this app for an hour.
Yes.
I would say memes, whether it's on social media, I guess only on social media again. But memes are really funny. I think that, it's cool to make them too and just trying to make your friends laugh. And then lastly, what else makes me laugh? I say just comedy shows. Like right now I'm really into Abbott Elementary. I think that show is so funny.
Such a good show.
Yes.
Yes. And for you, Charlese?
Yeah, I love a good comedy special. Mo Milligan, shout out to my brothers in the UK. He's killing it over there. Yeah. Yeah, also just want to shout out again, keeping it within Black Greek life and also within the fam. Profiles Be Like is a great Instagram account.
Yes.
Super funny, super insightful. He's always hyping up, our all D9 sisters. So yeah,
and it's like a comedy page for all the D9 organizations, like inside jokes.
Yeah, but it is Alpha Fraternity member owned. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 3 things you're grateful for.
Life.
Yes.
Grateful to be here. Me personally, I'm grateful for my parents. Seasonal depression be rough, and my parents, both of them, are the best at the pep talks. My dad's a pastor, so he's really good at the pep talk game. He literally gets up on Sunday and does a pep talk for 3 minutes. So
I love that.
Calling me up and being like, hey, keep your head up high, walk within the Lord,
Yes.
Yes. So my dad always gets me with the pep talk, same with my mom. Yeah.
I love that. And for you, Camiryn?
I'd say my education is something that I really value. I think that your education is like the one thing that no one can take away from you. And so it's really such a privilege to have gone to such great private schools where I was able to get, 2 bachelors and an MBA. And I don't take it for granted at all. So I really appreciate that. And then I'm going to have to say my friends and family. I see my friends almost as my family as well, like my second family. So I really valued my support system.
I love that. Did you have a third one, Charlese? I think I cut you off.
Yeah, I was going to say friends. So
what would you guys tell your younger selves?
I think I would tell my younger self to keep working hard and to stay positive and just know that it pays off in the end. Even through the tough times or times where you're going through adversity, just to always just keep your head up and, keep going forward. And eventually you'll see the difference in your life. And just to, take it easy on myself. I'm very hard on myself. I'm sure Cervantes.
Yes.
Friends. Yes. I'm very hard on myself. So I would tell myself to just appreciate every small win you get. And, you can only go up from there.
On that note, I would definitely tell myself that my younger self that what the moments of struggle and trial and tribulation are just moments. They're just that. Right. To just hold your head up high. You will get through this. God doesn't give you anything that you cannot handle. This is all within you. Everything that you need to get through all the adversities that you are surviving through, you have it all within you because He is in you. And I think that just reminding myself that although I might have times where things are difficult, they're not something that I can't get through. They're not something that's above my abilities. I'm strong enough.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. Where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
Rich.
Yeah, make it
Yes.
funny.
Yes. Manifest that. Manifest that.
In 5 years, I'd be 27. So hopefully I'll either be a marketing executive in entertainment, like maybe like Netflix or HBO, Disney. But if not that, I plan to still do auditions for Broadway and television and movies. And if I get booked for that, best believe I'll be right on your TV, right on that Broadway stage. And hopefully I
Yes.
can be there one day.
Yes. I love
Yeah.
that.
Definitely want to be a dance teacher, be a choreographer. If you scroll down at the end of a music video for Normani or, Chloe Bailey and you see choreographer Charlese Martin, don't be shocked.
Yes.
Yes.
And then also wait, you said you'd be 27?
Yeah.
So I'd be 26. So let's hope that by then I'm working on my MBA.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Question. What would you guys name this current chapter of your life? That one always gets people.
All I can think about right now is adulting, because it's just like when you get to college, you think that now you're adulting. Girl, this is a buffer. Now,
It really is.
now that it's like my senior year, and I'm like, girl, we done with the buffering. This is for real now. You're gonna get this degree and gonna be out the house.
Right,
So definitely adulting, but 2.0 / for real this time.
Right.
What I call this period.
Paying bills, full-time job, if you're not going to grad school, you're not going that route. Yeah, that's so true. And for you, Camiryn?
I would call this chapter of my life Money Moves, because right now I'm very much focused on my career. I'm trying to get my degree. I'm applying to internships like crazy. I lost count of the amount of internships I applied to in the last month, for all top executive companies. And in addition to that, I'm also doing networking every single week. I'm meeting with new people from different companies each week to see if I can plant those seeds and maybe one day get my foot in the door. So we're trying to make that coin. We're trying to start that career. You know me?
We love to see it. We love to see it. I'm so proud of you guys. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in these next 5 years, and as life goes on. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I really wanted to have an episode to close out Black History Month, highlighting the D9 organization, especially my two friends, a part of their lovely organization. We love to see it. Yes. Where can everyone follow you guys?
You can follow me at Charlese Martin, and then I also have a dance account, Supriya.Levine. You can follow both of those accounts.
Camiryn?
You can follow me at Camiryn_ on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. Check out and follow the Kappa Phi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at Hofstra University on Instagram at Kappa Phi _AKA. For more information about Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, visit aka1908.com. Be sure to leave a rating for the Cervantes podcast on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Cervantes podcast YouTube channel and click the notification bell up top so you never miss a new episode. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.